And this is the kind of world that we could live in instead of one that is driven by an ignorant thought that being angry at homosexuals is going to change their sexuality. Is that the plan? Because all it does is pushes people underground, makes them go into hiding, makes them feel like they have to be deceitful. One of the difficulties in associating myself with Block Man was that he was doing Block Man things. So he was doing a lot of drinking, a lot of smoking, and every once in a while, the drinking would give him the courage to just show up at my house, right? Which scared me because in that state, he wasn't making good decisions, and he would be loud and he would be drunk. And I had to rough him up a bit with words and say, man, you can't come out here so left my place. Don't come out here when you like this kind of thing. And that happened enough for me to be upset enough to say, yeah, I don't want to see you. And then I traveled, and then eventually I saw him again, and things have changed for him. He's grown, as some people do. He's matured in ways that are appealing to me. One of the other difficulties, though, is, and I guess you get different things from different people, but there was something that I wanted from him that I couldn't get, which was a stimulating conversation. The conversations were pretty uninteresting. Although I like to think that we together created a space in which he felt freer to express himself as a man in a society that only allows men to express anger. Because, I wouldn't make fun of him if he had an emotion outside of anger, right? And so we would then meet up, and this is in recent years, to smoke because I can't roll and he can roll. And so he would roll and he would give me mine, and I would wait for him to finish his so that we could start smoking together. And on one of these occasions, we came back to my place and did it in the backyard. Did the smoking in the backyard, but then the other things started in the backyard, and it was pretty passionate, man. It was pretty passionate. This is another thing with him, this whole not kissing thing. And sometimes I wonder about it because a lot of down low men won't kiss you on the lips because that will mean that they're gay, but they're not gay because you can have sex with a man if you're the one doing the penetrating and not be gay somehow. I mean, you could. You could be gay for pay, right? You could be watching something on your phone that gets you to that point, and then you could do the act. But this wasn't his case. And I often wonder, I think I may have asked him, how do you reconcile your sexuality with your life with such ease, because you're gonna go from hanging out with me to hanging out with the fellas. Although I will tell you this, I have been in situations where the impression I get is that some of the guys on the block know, but they just choose to ignore it. Because when I first arrived back in Barbados, I was walking through the area and a guy yelled out to me to let me know. I almost gave something away that would have given him away. And that's not my intention here. My intention is never in any of these videos to out anybody or to reveal their identity, right? So I can say instead that sometimes it feels like his boys are setting up a situation so that we can meet up. Like they will call his name when they see me come in, kind of thing. But I wasn't getting enough from this situation. And then it all came to a head one night when I was saying no, and he had me in his embrace and he would not let me go. And while I didn't feel threatened by this, it bothered me his insistence when, before he'd shown up, I told him I'm not in that mood. And he said, okay, no worries. And he came over and then he tried to get me in that mood. And it kind of pissed me off because... And another thing was his jealousy. If ever he saw me speaking to a guy, he'd be on my case about it. He'd be like, so who's this fella? So you Fupin he? I'd be like, everybody that you see me talking to. And I would then feel like I had to explain myself to try to make him feel better. So I think I've made it clear to him that I don't want to hang out anymore. But it was an interesting situation to be in because I'd always wanted the bad boy because of this addiction to the thrill, because of this addiction to loving in a way that I learned to love, which was related to drama and uncertainty and also getting it from maybe someone who was a symbol of things that I wanted to be. So that socially endorsed masculinity. But I'm at a place in my life where I see the bad boy and sometimes they do look good. They look like you would eat them with a spoon, man. But not that they look soft, they look delicious. But when I run through the scenario in my mind, I know that I don't want that. I don't want emotionally immature men who have a lot of unresolved trauma, who are too interested in their appearance to have an authentic connection with you. And then I'm so out that do I really want to be with someone who wants to sneak around because they don't want to be seen with me? No, I'm not doing that. I want to be free to be myself, especially since I realize that there's nothing to it outside of deciding that you want real friends instead of ones that love the you that you pretend to be. You know, you want people who love the you that you are. So that's my bad boy story. I don't think there are going to be other bad boys in my life. Although I am not gonna lie to you, I'm still very attracted to them, but I always go through the story in my head and see where it ends up, and it doesn't end up in a good place. And so they're just nice to look at for me now. But I am more interested in people who are on my page with respect to looking at themselves and seeing who they are and deciding who they want to be and being okay with who they are, but also investing in themselves and changing into a better person. So I decided to dress up as a bad boy because, you know, this is what bad boys look like. And I even put on some camo, which is illegal in Barbados. Yeah, it's crazy. Wearing a camouflage bikini to the beach is illegal. But you know what's not illegal? What's not illegal is calling somebody a bulla and harassing people, boy children, because you got internalized homophobia or because you are ignorant and do not realize that people are people and that people could be on the verge right? And this horrible thing that you have said to them could push them over the edge. And this is the person that you want to move through the world like, you know, somebody who is being horrible to other people because of your own anger. Like, it's mad to me. Yeah, it's mad to me that camo is illegal, but discrimination and telling a woman that she pussy fat when she walking down the street in illegal. Crazy shit to me. And this is why I will wear my camo whenever I have an opportunity to do so. And that's my story. Thank you for listening, and I will see you again sometime soon.